There's a new theme that the Republicans are throwing out there, which is that President Obama is a tough guy. He's too hard, too aggressive, too much of a bully. Laugh along with me. This is the most preposterous thing I've ever heard. I wish they were right. They're nowhere near right. They're not within miles of right. Here's absurd Governor of South Carolina, Nikki Haley, making a preposterous argument on Fox.
What do you make of the whole Supreme Court now taking this up? I know that you were instrumental in talking to the president and wanting him to rush this along, right?
Absolutely. We asked him to speed the track that it was on. What is amazing is what a bully President Obama has suddenly become. Here was a man that came in with hope and change, and now he's bullying his way. He's bullying his way on Paul Ryan, saying that he's not coming up with an adequate budget. Now he's bullying the Supreme Court, saying, no, they won't reverse this. They won't go against us on this. That's not how things work. He has to lead. He's shown no sort of leadership when it comes to balancing a budget. He's shown no leadership when it comes to allowing the states to do the will of the people. He continues to say no to everything.
Really? First of all, God, the way they flip truth on its head is amazing. The Republicans are legendary for saying no to everything, for every compromise. Now they've flipped it, so President Obama constantly says no. Are you kidding me? He's agreed to nearly every so-called compromise you guys have ever offered him. And he brags, and he did it yesterday again in his speech where he's supposed to be all progressive. He bragged about how he took the Republican idea of the mandates, the Republican idea of cap and trade. He praised all the former Republican presidents. And that's the guy who's bullying and saying no to everything the Republicans say? Now in the Supreme Court, they're like, can you believe he questioned the judiciary and saying that they are overturning democratically elected laws and accuse him of judicial activism? What a bully. Are you kidding me? For the last 30 years, all you guys have ever done is bully the judiciary. Here is a small example of all the things that Republicans have done. And believe me, there's hours of this tape. Watch.
If you believe in judge-made law, the Supreme Court, by that decision in '63, Murray versus Curlett, outlawed prayer in the public schools by a court decision. I think it's in direct violation of the First Amendment of the Constitution. If we're going to respect judge-made law and stop praying in our public schools, that was the beginning of the judicial activism that's begun to break down this civilization and this culture.
That we should be putting people on the bench who are committed to an even-handed interpretation of the law, so everyone who walks into a courtroom knows he or she will have a fair shake.
Unelected and serving with lifetime tenure and substituting their view for the views of the people and their elected representatives. That's not the way our democracy is supposed to work.
Judges are not policymakers. That's what we are in the Congress of the United States. Judges are called on to decide the facts.
So did you just hear all of those Republicans saying, how dare these judges? We're the ones who make law in this Congress, those judicial activists. And now that they made the law and then the president signed it, the Health Care Act, now all the conservatives have flipped around and saying, well, obviously this is the job of the judiciary to make sure that they strike down the laws that Congress passed. And I can't believe President Obama would be against that. Judge Napolitano on Fox News is saying he is outraged. It's unprecedented. So now, apparently, this is all unprecedented. They've never heard this before. Fox News, oh my God, judicial activism. My God, how could the Democrats ever claim this? You bunch of frauds. Fox News Republicans all this time saying, oh, this judiciary, how dare they be undemocratic like this? They're unelected, etc. Now President Obama is a bully because he dared to say the same thing, but actually at a decibel level that's about 10% of where you guys are at. You remember Newt Gingrich said that the judges, if they don't follow his dictates and they don't agree with him, they should get subpoenas. If they don't follow the subpoenas, they should be arrested. Throughout the campaign, they've all been saying this. And then John Cornyn talking about, oh my God, you know what? Maybe I can understand why there would be violence against these judges if they are so judicially active. Can you imagine if President Obama said the same thing? If he came out and was like, well, you know, if they do, if they overturn my health care law, I could understand why there'd be violence against them. This country would stop immediately in its tracks and they would start impeachment proceedings immediately. And then yesterday in his speech, President Obama walked it back a little bit, like, all I was saying is that the Republicans have also kind of been saying this, and, I'm not saying that the Supreme Court doesn't have this power. Of course it has the power. I'm just saying that I hope they don't go in that direction. Oh, for the love of God, there he goes retreating again. Attack, say, why don't you play the same clips we just played? Why don't you just put them out there and go, this is what the Republicans have been saying for 30 years. And I'm not going to sit here and let them pretend that they're in favor of the judiciary overturning Congress's laws. That's what they've been arguing against all this time. And let's see if they're consistent on this or if they're unbearable hypocrites. Attack. If they're going to call you a bully anyway, you might as well at least be a little aggressive.